Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram Ram.
Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
everyone. 7
Hare
o'clock.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Sorry, I was walking in the, so I
Hare
was
Krishna,
able
Prabhuji.
to join. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so we will read Srimad Bhagavatam. I think this is the verse we are on. Okay, Prahlad's prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so Kvaham Braja Prabhava Isha Tamodhikesmin Jatah Suretara Kule Kwa Tavanukampa न ब्रह्मणो न तु भवस्य वै न वै रमाय यन्मे अर्पिता शिरसि पद्म कर प्रसादः. Okay, so let's see. Kva aham raja prabhava. Raja means passion. So I am influenced by the mode of passion. Where am I? I'm in a body, asuric body, which is influenced by the mode of passion. Isha means, O Lord. Tamo adhikesmin, I am in the mode of ignorance, excessively, adhike or something like that. Jataha suretara kule kvatavanukamba. So I'm born in a family of demons who are in mode of passion and ignorance. But tavanukampa, tava means your, and anukampa means your mercy. But what to speak about your mercy? Suretara means, Sura is like the demigods. Sura Itara Kule, in a family of atheists or demons, or subordinate to devotees. Sura Itara Kule, in a family, okay, Sura Itara Kule means is born in a family of atheists or demons. Okay. Na Brahmano na tu bhavasya na vai Ramaya. Rama is Lakshmi Devi. And no Brahmano, not Brahma, not Lakshmi Devi. Natu Bhavasya, that is Lord Shiva. So he's saying Lord Shiva, Lakshmi, and Brahma. Yanme Arpita Shirasi, Padma Karaha Prasada. Kara means hand and Padma means lotus. So Shirasi means head. So he's saying, you, let's see. O my Lord, O Supreme, because I was born in a family full of the hellish material qualities of passion and ignorance. What is my position? So Prahlad is time and again, he's saying this, that I am very low birth, previously so many verses. He said, how can I offer prayers to you? Even the great demigods, they have not been able to satisfy you. What is my position? So he is feeling very humble all the time. The quality of great devotee. O my Lord, O Supreme, because I was born in a family full of the hellish material qualities of passion and ignorance, what is my position? Which is correct, he was born in a Asuric family. And what is to be said of your causeless mercy? which was never offered even to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. So he's saying, of course, we may think that he is trying to say that he's a better devotee than, after saying that he is born in a very low family and is full of passion and ignorance. You never put your lotus hand upon their heads, but you have put it upon mine. Yeah, so does it mean Lord Brahma never received the mercy, Lord Shiva never received the mercy? I'm not sure exactly, but he's saying I'm born in a low family, but still such mercy you have bestowed upon me. So he's just glorifying the Lord. Um, Others are very qualified, Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lakshmi Devi. So, I mean, I don't know what exactly he's trying to say, but the Lord has appeared for him in a form which was never seen before, right? I mean, Nrsimhadev, and he put his hand on the head of Prahlad, and he also put Prahlad on the lap of Prahlad was sitting on the lap of Nrsimhadev. And the Lord was very angry. Nobody wanted to go near. But because of Prahlad, Prahlad was sent to pacify the Lord, right? Nobody wanted to go near. So he's saying that I'm such a low born, but still your best for your mercy. Yeah, he wants to say.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, that I'm not qualified. Like we also say, right, when we get mercy, I was not qualified, but Krishna, your causeless mercy, you have given this mercy to me. But there are much more qualified devotees than me, Brahma and Shiva and Goddess of Fortune. They don't get your mercy. How come I got your mercy? I'm not even qualified for that.
Yeah, so in that way, he's not saying that, oh, I got the mercy and others did get the mercy, right? It sounds like, and what is to be said of your causeless mercy, which was never offered to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Goddess of Fortune, Lakshmi. Yeah. So he's saying that, but they also got, we say Lakshmi Devi is the, you know, but there is different rasa like that with the Lord. So Lord Shiva is also one of the greatest devotees. Lord Brahma also, he was empowered to create this universe.
Yeah, yesterday also Rukmani in her letter was writing that great devotees like Lord Shiva, they are hankering for the lotus. So yeah, it is that I'm not qualified, I may not get your mercy because you don't. Same thing she's saying in her letter.
Yeah, what to speak and for ordinary girl like me, if you think I'm not qualified, then I will do tapasya for lifetime after lifetime to become qualified so that I will get. Yes. Okay, so purport. So, of course, it's not to minimize, Prahlad is not trying to minimize the position of Brahma, Shiva, or Lakshmi and saying that, okay, I'm greater than them, and so I got your mercy. No, he's saying causeless mercy. So, he's astonished that even on such a low-born person, uh, uh, the Lord has bestowed his mercy. So, maybe in that sense, he's saying, okay, we can say like that, because a pure devotee never wants to minimize the position of another pure devotees. These are all pure devotees, Lord Shiva, Lakshmi Devi, and Brahma. So pure devotee never wants to minimize the position of other pure devotees. So Prahlad Maharaj was surprised at the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. Did Nrsimhadev Prahlad on the lap also? I'm not sure if it is mentioned or he just put his hand. Sometimes he's shown in pictures as Prahlad is sitting on the lap of Lord Nrsimhadev and his hand is on that. But here in the verses, I don't know if if we read if Nrsimhadev put Prahlad on the lap. But at least he put his hand on.
Licking him, that is also I've heard. He put him on his lap and he
Yeah,
was
he was licking him or smelling his head like that, yes. So he was showing affection, but is it in the Bhagavatam? I was just wondering, did we read that?
not yet, I think.
Prahlad Maharaj was surprised at the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. For although Prahlad was born in a demonic family, And although the Lord had never before placed his lotus hand on the head of Brahma, Shiva, or the goddess of fortune, his constant companion, Lord Nrsimhadev kindly placed his hand on the head of Prahlad. Mhm. So that is what Prahlad is saying. Prabhupada is writing that because Nrsimhadev put his hand on his head, which others did not have the fortune of. This is the meaning of causeless mercy. Means even if I don't deserve it, but the Lord is. And Prabhupada says we can get the same benefit that Prahlad Maharaj got. The Lord put his hand on Prahlad's head. We can get the same benefit of Lord Nrsimhadev putting hand on Prahlad's head. The same benefit we can get by touching the
Krishna with the
Mahamantra.
tongue.
Yeah, touching Krishna with our tongue. So we can touch Krishna. Ultimately, it is a touch. We say no, one devotee was saying how the lion's paws are very sharp, but in the middle it's very soft. So when Nrsimhadev put his hand, it was the middle part that was on Prahlad's head. And we can get the same benefit that Prahlad got if we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because the Mahamantra is Krishna himself, Radha Krishna. So we can touch Krishna with our tongue, and we are touching the Lord, or the Lord is dancing on our tongue. They say when we chant the holy name, then the Lord is dancing on our tongue. So we can get the same benefit. This is the meaning of causeless mercy. The causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead may be bestowed upon anyone, regardless of his position in this material world. So Krishna is Swarat. Swarat means is independent. He can bestow his mercy upon anyone, even if somebody has not done anything, any piety, anything, nothing like that. We say, where was Hunter Dharma's piety? Where was Dhruva's maturity? Of course, Dhruva was meditating. Where was Kubja's beauty? Where was Gajendra's learning? Where was Ugrasen's chivalry? Like there's a
Sudama's wealth.
huh?
Sudama's wealth.
Sudama's wealth.
Vidura's noble birth.
Sudama's wealth, Vidura's noble birth. So many things. But still, Krishna bestowed his mercy on them. Like, of course, Vidura was a devotee. He's Yamraj. Yamraj, Prabhupada writes in one purport that Yamraj always feels very sad. I mean, he's engaged in Lord service, but he has to punish the conditioned souls. And being a Vaishnava, he feels this is not the service I should be doing always. Of course, he's doing his service to please the Lord, but he wanted to preach the glories of the Lord. Yamraj wanted to preach the glories of the Lord, so he came down as Vidur. He also wants to save the conditioned souls. So he is also one of the 12 Mahajans. Balir Vayasaki Vayam. Vayam is Yamraj. How does it start? Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumaro Kapilo Manuhu Prahlada Janako Bhishma Balir Vayasaki Vayam. That Yamraj is also one of the 12 authorities. So he also likes to preach. He also likes to save the conditioned souls like the others. So he comes down as Vidur. The whole pastime happened, right, of Manduk Muni, who cursed Yamraj to become a low-born person on earth. So anyone can, I mean, Ajamil, right? What was Ajamil? He just got the causeless mercy of the Lord. Putana, right? We say, Aho bakiyam stanakalakutam jigam sapayayadapi yasadvi lebhe gatim dhatri uchitam tatonyam kamva dayalu sharanam rajema. He says, oh, Putana got the mercy. She had come to kill Krishna and she got the liberation of a nurse in the spiritual world. Dhatri. She became a nurse in the spiritual world. So anybody can get causeless mercy of Krishna, but we should also try. We should also endeavor to get the mercy of the Lord by serving Him. So, but Lord is not bound by any rules and regulations, so he can do whatever he likes. That's why he's Swarat. The causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead may be bestowed upon anyone, regardless of his position in this material world. I may say, no, I am doing this, and this person is not doing, but he went back to Godhead, and I did so much, I did chant every day, and I didn't go back home to Godhead, but this person, he was a sinner, but he went back home. How is it possible? We cannot say to the Lord, we cannot question. Of course, the Lord is not answerable to anybody, but if the Lord wants, he can. And he has his own reasons why he does what he does. If we want to know the mind of God, then we have to also become a pure devotee. Then we will know the mind of God. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, you can enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Bhaktya svananya shakya aham evam vido Arjuna. Gyatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. You can enter into the mysteries of my understanding by unalloyed devotional service. So you can know the mind of God. Everyone is eligible to worship the Supreme Lord, irrespective of his material position. So anyone can become a devotee, regardless of one's birth. And Krishna says, anybody, mami partha vipashitya yepishu papa yonaya. Striyo vaishya tatha shudras depi yanti param gatim. Anybody who takes shelter of me, even they be born of low birth, they can attain the supreme destination. So everyone is eligible to worship the Supreme Lord, irrespective of his material position. I have material desires, yes. I'm very fallen. Can I worship? Yes. There is no prerequisites to approaching the Supreme Lord. So we should, let's see. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 14:26. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Vyabhichar, this verse Krishna is speaking in Bhagavad Gita, is saying that those who are faithful devotees, they are always chaste devotees. Vyabhichari means unchaste, and avyabhichar means chaste. So if you are chaste to Krishna, then always one who is chaste will never deviate from devotional service, always engaged, 24 hours. Of course, the only time when we sleep, we can't, because at that time, we cannot engage in devotional service unless you are very exalted devotee in your mind, you can remember Krishna like that. But other than the time that we need to sleep, all the time one is engaged in thinking of Krishna, one is remembering Krishna. So constantly, continuously. So that is what this verse is saying. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So if you're constantly engaged, so idea is to constantly engage in devotional service without any ulterior motives. Ahetukiya pratihata. Anyone who engages in continuous devotional service to the Lord is situated in the spiritual world and has nothing to do with the material qualities. Sattva gun, rajogun, and tamogun. So whatever we do, of course, we do work and all that. That also can be devotional service. So then we will rise above the modes of material nature, this verse is saying. Because Prahlad Maharaj was situated on the spiritual platform, he had nothing to do with his body, which had been born of the modes of passion and ignorance. So Prahlad Maharaj was already a great devotee because he got the association of Narad Muni for such a long time. He was hearing from Narad Muni. So he was completely on the spiritual platform. And although he is saying that I am born in a family which is full of passion and ignorance, he had nothing to do with it because his consciousness was elevated beyond this. The symptoms of passion and ignorance are described in Srimad Bhagavatam 1 to 19 as lust and hankering. Tada rajas tamo bhava kama lobha dayasya chete terana viddam stam satve prasidati. This is the effect of hearing. It starts with Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punyashravana kirtana Ridantasto hi abhadrani vidhunoti suritsatam Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Then Tadarajas tamo bhava Kamalobha deshe Chete terana vidyam Statam satve prasidati. So this is all the series of verses,
Mentioned in the Jaladuta.
Jaladuta prayers, yeah. And it's Prabhupada writes that in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, first verse, where he says, Maya sakta manapartha yogam yunjun madashraya asanshayam samagramam yatha gnashari tatshrinu. That just hear from me how you can become attached to me and practice bhakti yoga in full consciousness of me. Just hear from me. So Prabhupada is writing about hearing is the most important. If you hear, then everything starts happening from there. And one becomes fixed up in devotional service and the mode of lust and hankering, lust and greed. Greed is hankering. It lessens or is eradicated, and one comes to the platform of goodness, and then one feels very happy. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogata bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. One minds become very joyful in contact with devotional service of the Lord, and he comes to scientifically understand the personality of Godhead, and he becomes free from all contamination. And then all his misgivings, all the doubts in the heart are cut to pieces. Vidyate hridaya granthis chidyante sarva sanshaya shiyante chasya karmani drishtaya. So the knot in the heart, we all have a knot in the heart, hridaya granthi, by which we are bound to this material world. So that is pierced, and all sanshaya means doubts. All doubts are cut to pieces, and one comes to see the self and the master is going to be changed. It's changed here. When one sees oneself and one's master. So you see yourself and you see the master. So this is a whole series of verses that often quoted by Prabhupada. Okay. So it all starts with hearing. So we should hear every day. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Prahlad Maharaj, being a great devotee, thought the body born of his father to be born of passion and ignorance. But because Prahlad was fully engaged in the service of the Lord, his body did not belong to the material world. And previously Prahlad had said, no material qualification can please the Lord. Manye dhana bijana rup. No material qualification can please the Lord, actually. It is only our heart. Okay. So his body did not belong to material world because he was using his body, mind, and words and in the service of the Lord. So it was not like material. So anything used in the service of the Lord becomes spiritual. That's how we say. Of course, our body is made of 5 elements, which is material. But if you use that body, just like we say, Prabhupada is giving the example. If an iron is put into a fire, it becomes like fire. So if you use everything in Krishna's service, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe, Yukta Vairagya Muchyate. That's Yukta Vairagya. Then everything is spiritual. Sankirtan means complete glorification of the Lord. With everything we have, we should use our energy, our time, our words, our mind, our body, everything to glorify the Lord. That is, Sankirtan also means to come together and do chanting together. San has two meanings. One is complete and another san means together. So Sankirtan means coming together and chanting the Lord's names, like we say Sankirtan. Yes. And then Sankirtan also means complete. Kirtan means glorification. Complete glorification of the Lord with everything that we have. So, okay. So we should be like that. Ideally, this is all ideally speaking. The pure Vaishnava's body is spiritualized even in this life. For example, when iron is put into fire, it becomes red hot and is no longer iron, but fire. Similarly, the so-called material bodies of devotees who fully engage in devotional service of the Lord, being constantly in the fire of spiritual life, have nothing to do with matter, but are spiritualized. Okay. Srila Madhvacharya remarks that the goddess of fortune, the mother of the universe, could not get mercy similar to that which was offered to Prahlad Maharaj. For although the goddess of fortune is always a constant companion of the Supreme Lord, the Lord is more inclined to his devotees. Well, isn't Lakshmi Devi a devotee? She is a devotee. She is the internal energy of the Lord. So, but Prahlad got, because I think by this thing, it's what is Madhvacharya implying? We have to see some commentaries. Is more inclined to his devotees. In other words, devotional service is so great that when it is offered even by those born in low families, the Lord accepts it as being more valuable than the service offered by the goddess of fortune. So that is what Prabhupada is saying, that even those who are born in low families, they offer devotional service. Krishna says, oh, it's very valuable. Lord Brahma, King Indra, and other demigods living in the upper planetary systems are situated in a different spirit of consciousness. And therefore, they are sometimes troubled by demons. But a devotee, even if situated in the lower planets, enjoys life in Krishna consciousness under any circumstances. So all we say Indra is a mixed devotee. Brahma can be a mixed devotee also. Our Brahma is a pure devotee, but whereas Prahlad is a pure devotee. So even he is situated on lower planet and Indra is situated on a higher planet. But anybody can be a pure devotee in any situation of life. Basically, that's what. But a devotee, even if situated in the lower planets, enjoys life in Krishna consciousness under any circumstances. Parata, Swata, Karmata. As he acts himself, as he is instructed by others, or as he performs his material activities, he enjoys life in every respect. So he performs his material activities, okay, because they are no longer material activities. In this regard, Madhvacharya quotes the following verses, which are mentioned in the Brahma Tarka. Shri Brahma Brahma Vindradi Trikatat Shri Stri Purustutaha Tadanyacha Kramadeva Sada Mukto Smitavapi Hari Bhakto Tachat Jnane Sukhe cha niyame natu parata svata karmato va. So that's where Prabhupada is taken. Parata svata karmato va. Na kathanchit tadanyatha. There is no translation. So, okay, so the next verse. Any comments?
Yeah, so I was remembering this one verse and pasting it in the chat. Krishna is telling Uddhav. I've heard this verse. I think. My dear Uddhav, neither Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. I was remembering this one verse. Lord Shankarshan, the goddess of fortune, nor indeed my own self are as dear to me as you are. And here also Madhvacharya is quoting, but the goddess of fortune is the Lord's wife, and the word Atma here indicates Lord's own self as a deity. None of these personalities, even the Lord's own self, are as dear to him as his pure devotee Uddhav and a Kinchan devotee of the Lord. Sri Madhvacharya cites from Vedic literature the example that a gentleman sometimes neglects his own interest and that of his children to give charity to a poor beggar. Similarly, the Lord gives preference to a helpless devotee who depends completely on his mercy. The only way to obtain the Lord's mercy is through his causeless love, and the Lord is most lovingly inclined towards those devotees who are most dependent on him, just as ordinary mothers and fathers worry more about their helpless children than about those who are self-sufficient. Thus, even if one lacks any material qualification, one should simply depend on the Supreme without any other interest in showing. Yeah, that's what it is saying.
So Prahlad was helpless and he was completely dependent on the Lord. So, and everybody is helpless actually in this material world. We are all helpless. So we should completely depend on the Lord. This is by Prabhupada's disciples, this purport.
Yeah, but it's Madhvacharya's commentary. There's
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not saying that it's because it's less important because it's by Prabhupada's disciples, but yeah, they have taken different commentaries of different acharyas.
That's what Madhvacharya was quoted here, right?
Yeah, so those who are very helpless, they are given special attention. Like a father has 5 children and one child is, is challenged health-wise or something, then the father will give more attention to that child than to others who are healthy. So the more we express our helplessness to the Lord, the more we will get Lord's attention. Then those who think that, yeah, we can do it ourselves, we are capable of doing everything by ourselves, then the Lord does not, because Lord reciprocates according to our desires and so the more we depend on the Lord, of course, in material world, if you depend, it's considered like, oh, he's a parasite. He's a parasite. He's always depending. Some jobs have this description. He should be able to do his job independently, right? They have some description like that. Independently without so if we ask all the time other people how to do my work, then they will think, yeah, he's not qualified, he's asking. So in material life, it is considered a disqualification. But in spiritual life, Krishna says, in all activities, just depend upon me and work under my protection. Chetasa sarva karmani, mai sanyasya mat paraha.
Buddhi yogam upashitya makchitta satitam bhava.
So in 18th chapter, he says that. So all activities always depend upon me and work under my protection. So we should always because that will increase our consciousness of Krishna. Krishna, I am depending upon you, even to do simple things, which we may be able to do without like that, because Krishna is. But we should say, okay, I cannot do this, Krishna, without your help. I cannot do this. I cannot walk without your help, Krishna. So in that way, you can remember Krishna. Krishna, I am dependent on you. And it is true, right? If Krishna decides we should not walk, cannot walk also, we get a stroke or something. And so everything we are doing, then we can be grateful. Every little thing we do, we can say, oh Krishna, you helped me, because that's why I was able to do all these things. Otherwise, we'll become proud. I did it, because it was of my endeavor, my thing, I did this. So every little thing, everything we get, everything we do is all because of Krishna's mercy. And that will make us more Krishna conscious. Okay, so
in Gopi Geet also, right, the gopis were praying that, singing that, you place your hand on our heads.
yes.
That this verse is Virachita bhayam vrishnidhuryate charanamiyusham samshrutir bhayat karsaroruham kantakamadam sirasi dehina shrikaragriham. So this verse is also saying that you hold you hold the hand of goddess of fortune. and you give fearlessness those who approach you. Yeah, and then that hand you place on our heads. So, and they were also playing similar like that.
Yes. So yeah, so we are ultimately we need Lord's mercy. That's basically everybody needs Lord's mercy. So we should pray to the Lord, please bestow your mercy upon me. I'm suffering. This is many prayers like that. I'm suffering in this material world. Krishna, you are my only friend. And who else is my friend in this world? I depend on you, Krishna. That is also a definition of humility. I depend on Krishna. So nobody can help me. Only you can help me, Krishna. So, and it is true, right? Mukunda only can give liberation. I mean, we can get some help from, but they are also inspired by the Supreme Lord and they have the ability to help but of course, we are grateful to all people who help us. But Krishna will arrange also that. If somebody has to help us, Krishna will arrange. Like Dhruva Maharaj was in search of God in the forest, and all of a sudden Narad Muni appeared there in the forest. So Krishna sent Narad Muni there. So Krishna will help, but at the same time, Dhruva was always grateful to Narad Muni. So that is, I think, some verse he says like that. Was it so?
Dhruva Maharaj?
No, Prahlad is saying like that. How can I leave the service of Narad Muni? I think
Oh,
it's coming.
yeah, it's coming up.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's coming up. So we should feel very helpless, and in that helpless mood, we can cry to the Lord. That's the mood in which we should chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada says, like a baby crying for mother. And we are helpless, right? We are helpless against our own conditioning, our own anarthas. We are helpless. And mind is also, we are helpless against our own mind. And like, so Krishna, I just take shelter of you. Please help me. Okay. And when you are helpless, you cry. Of course, we sometimes we say it is our own endeavor also and Krishna's mercy. So the more we become desperate for Krishna's mercy, then we will do things that we will get Krishna's mercy. Like the example is given, if I'm hungry and I want food desperately because I will not survive without, so I'm looking for food. So devotees desperately looking for Krishna's mercy. How I can get Krishna's mercy? How I can get Krishna? So like that. Of course, mercy is also there on us because otherwise we wouldn't even survive. And everything is going on every day. We are able to chant the holy name. It's Krishna's mercy. Right? Then the question may come, why Krishna is not merciful to everybody? Why everybody is not chanting the holy name? Is Krishna's mercy only on me? Then we can say, yeah, well, our desire is also there. But if we are able to do something, we should say it's Krishna's mercy. Yes, because that way, and it is true, we cannot move our tongue and all these things without Krishna's mercy. Okay, so in that consciousness, we can depend, we can remember Krishna, and we have a loving feeling towards Krishna. Ultimately, that's what we want, loving feeling towards Krishna, and that's Krishna consciousness. Okay. So the next verse, what is the time? We'll read one more verse. We can, we'll read. Naisha paravara matir bhavato nanusyaj jantur yathatma surido jagatas tathapi Sansevaya suraturur ivate prasadaha sevanurupam mudayona paravartvaratvam na nesha paravara. So para means superior. So let's read the translation, then we'll see the meaning. Unlike an ordinary living entity, my Lord, you do not discriminate between friends and enemies, the favorable and the unfavorable. Because for you there is no conception of higher and lower. Because Krishna is the Jantur Yathatma Surido. He is the friend of every living entity. Nonetheless, you offer your benediction according to level of one's service. Exactly as a desired tree delivers fruits according to one's desires and makes no distinction between the lower and the higher. Let's see. So Krishna does not discriminate between friends and enemies. Well, he says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. I come to save the devotees, and I protect the devotees, and I annihilate the miscreants. So how can he say there is no discrimination? Because both are acts of mercy. Krishna is favoring everybody. You can say like that. Even with the enemies, when he kills them, they are favored. And another way is because everybody can become a devotee of the Lord. So there is no partiality from Krishna's side. And if Krishna punishes somebody, that is also his mercy. Like we say, mother gives sweet to the child, or mother punishes the child, gives bitter medicine to the child. Both are acts of mercy. So that way you can say he's just reciprocating. Krishna is reciprocal. He's not partial. He's just reciprocating with what we want. Of course, there is a verse, Yathamam Prapadyate, Prabhupada is quoting. In the Bhagavad Gita 4:11, the Lord clearly says, Yathamam Prapadyante tan sathaiva bhajami aham. As one surrenders to me, I reward him accordingly. Yeah. Sometimes it is said, if you take one step towards Krishna, Krishna will take 10 towards you. Right? So he's reciprocating sometimes more than what we are doing. As stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jivere Swarup hoy Krishna Nitya Das. Every living being is an eternal servant of Krishna. Yeah, what did Ajamil do to get such mercy? What did Putana do to get such mercy? They got mercy. Every living being is an eternal servant of Krishna. According to the service the living entity renders, he automatically receives benedictions from Krishna, who does not make distinctions, thinking, here is a person in an intimate relationship with me, and here is a person I dislike. Krishna advises everyone to surrender to him. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. One's relationship with the Supreme Lord is in proportion to that surrender and the service one renders to the Lord. Like to Rukmini, he was saying, Rukmini was always thinking of Krishna, and Krishna is saying, I am also thinking of Rukmini. I cannot sleep at night because as Rukmini is thinking of me, I am also thinking. In the 12th chapter, right, Krishna is saying, what is the verse? Mai eva mana adatsva, mai buddhim niveshaya, nivashashi mai eva, ata urdhvam na sanchaya. He says, yeah, they reside in me and I reside. Aham bhakta paradino nahi
हे अश्वतंत्र
yashvatantra iva.
द्विज साधु भी ग्रस्त हृदय.
Janapriya, what is sadhu?
How does it start?
Aham bhakta paradino, that is.
अपराधीन हे स्वतंत्र इव द्विज साधु बीर ग्रस्त हृदय भक्तेर भक्त जन प्रिया.
That he says, and the other verse, that I know no one but my devotee, and I know no one but I know no one but my devotee, and my devotee knows no one but me. right? That is a verse also.
Yeah. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tvaham madanyate na janati naham tebhyo managapi.
So as we connect with Krishna, Krishna also remembers us. He says, you live in me. Krishna is also thinking of his devotees. So, of course, he is worried about everybody. Thus, throughout the entire world, the higher or lower positions of the living entities are selected by the living entities themselves. So, we are responsible for our own destiny. And Krishna is just reciprocating with the desires of the living entity. So basically, we can desire to serve, surrender to the Lord, or we can remain averse to the Lord. So ideally, we should not want anything other than the service of the Lord. Then we are pure devotee. Krishna created this material world for us because we wanted it. Krishna created in the material world also heavenly planets are there because the jiva wants to enjoy in the heavenly planets. So he has created heavenly planets. Krishna has created so many species of life. Why not only human beings, all different species? Because we have desires to accommodate all our desires. So we have many desires and they are fulfilled in other species of life better than in human species. Thus, throughout the entire world, the higher or lower positions of the living entities are selected by the living entities themselves. So we are the architect of or responsible for our own destiny. If one is inclined to dictate that the Lord grants something, one receives benedictions according to his desires. Yeah, if one wants to be elevated to higher planetary systems, the heavenly planets, he can be promoted to the place he desires. And if one wants to remain a hog or a pig on earth, the Lord fulfills that desire also. Therefore, one's position is determined by one's desires. The Lord is not responsible for the higher or lower grades of our existence. So we are putting ourselves in. This is further explained quite definitely in the Bhagavad Gita 9:25 by the Lord himself. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrin yanti pitra vrataha bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti madhya jinopimam. Some people want to be promoted to the heavenly planet, some want to be promoted to Pitralok, and some want to remain on earth. But if one is interested in returning home back to Godhead, he can be promoted there also. According to the demands of a particular devotee, he receives the result by the grace of the Lord. And because the Lord has to deal with everybody fairly, he has put laws of karma also into motion. That also is there. Like we say, there is one position in a company and there are 5 people who are praying to God, please give me this job, please give me this job. Then who will get the job? Then Krishna has put karma. The Lord does not discriminate thinking, here is a person favorable to me and here is a person who is not favorable. Rather, he fulfills the desires of everyone. Therefore, the Shastras enjoin. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether one is without desire, the condition of the devotees, or is desirous of all fruitive activities, or is after liberation, one should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. So whatever be our state of consciousness, this verse is saying, let's worship the Lord or engaged in Lord's service with all our hearts, whatever be our situation. Nobody is barred. And without Lord's help, no material desire can also be fulfilled. Even if you have material desire, the Lord has to fulfill the material desire. Of course, sometimes Krishna says, Krishna kahe ama bhaje mage vishay sukh, amrit chhadi vishay mage, ei bada murkh, ami vigya ei murkhe, vishaya ke nediba, swachar namrita
Diya.
diya vishaya bhulaiba, something like that. Yeah, so it's so
Yeah.
sometimes Krishna, he may not fulfill our desires and he may give us higher taste because it may not be good for us. Like the child says, I want to play with the knife. The mother may not give the knife to the child. Or sometimes maybe she gives the knife, but maybe it is covered with something, so it is safe. So so for Krishna fulfilled the desire of Dhruva Maharaj, but he also removed the material desire from his heart. So according to one's position, whether as a devotee, a karmi or a jnani, whatever one wants, one can get if one fully engages in the service of the Lord. So material desires can also be fulfilled if you approach the Lord. But it's up to the Lord, yeah. He can remove the material desire also from the heart. So we should pray like Dhruva Maharaj. Please remove all material desires from the core of my heart.
That is Prahlad Maharaj.
Oh, sorry, Prahlad. I said Dhruva. Yeah, Prahlad, yeah. Please remove material desires, all material desires from the core of my heart. Okay, so we'll stop there.
But it is also said that the Krishna is, that verse is there, sammoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshestina priya. Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maitita teshu chapya. So as you say that Krishna is impartial, but those who surrender to the Lord fully, Krishna also interferes in the devotee's life.
Correct.
Because he is not, as you are saying, that it's not necessary that if whatever favorable for the bhakti he may give or he may take away also. Because Krishna also says that in Bhagavad Gita that those who worship me in devotion, I preserve what they have and carry what they lack. Right? So it may be anything, right? Whatever the impediments in the devotional path, it may remove also. Or Krishna says also in Bhagavad Gita, as I write that the famous words that, if I have a special favor, I take away everything. The 10th canto words. That's a special favor. If he's someone, he take away all the material possession. So it's like you say that, we become a devotee of the Krishna and becoming a fully surrender and give our charge of our life to in Krishna's hand. So he interferes completely, fully, and he gives the intelligence also what to work, how to work. And I think there's a story about that. A lady who was having one cow, and she was dependent on that cow only for her sustenance. And I think Krishna or Arjuna taking a form of like a brahmana, and they went to her house, and she was taking care, she was thinking of her cow. And when they visit her home or cottage, so she offered milk and she served nicely. And when they leave, when they left, and they what the so Arjuna asked that what the benediction or blessings to give to that lady. So Krishna says that may her cow die, because she was totally attached with her cow, and she may forget if she's thinking of her cow at the time of death, because she's becoming old and her death is near. So, and the other way, like, I think on the way they found another uh, a man, something, he was, and he gave the benediction to, I think, I don't remember that what benediction he gave. But the point is making that, if someone is attached, or what is the necessary thing, because it's harsh to say that if lady is just depend on her cow for her sustenance, and Krishna is saying that may the cow die. So just thinking that, if devotees, whatever it is, whatever takes him to going back to Godhead, he may grant it.
Correct. Krishna knows perfectly how to.
This pastime of Canto 7 started with this question. Parikshit Maharaj heard the pastime of Indra killing Vritrasura, and Lord helping the demigods to kill Vritrasura, was also a devotee. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying, how come I see that Lord is partial? He's always siding on the side of demigods. So then Narad Muni told about Yudhishthir Maharaj question on the Rajasuya Yagya. How come this Shishupal is getting Sarupya Mukti? He was a demon. So that's where this pastime of Prahlad Maharaj begins, about Krishna's being. But I was this if you open this verse from Canto 8, Bali Maharaj, he's saying
Whatever is
that
good for me, best of.
I pasted.
Oh, okay, you pasted. Okay. Yet, without waiting for that one, right?
Okay. Yeah, so Bali Maharaj is saying that your lordship is indirectly the greatest well-wisher of us demons. You act for our best welfare by posing as if our enemy. Because demons like us always aspire for a position of false prestige by chastising us. You give us the eyes by which to see the right path. And here in the purport, Prabhupada is writing that Bali Maharaj is saying that actually Krishna is a better friend to the demons than to the demigods. In the material world, the more one gets possessions, more he becomes blind. But the demigods are devotees of the Lord for the sake of material possessions. But although the demons apparently do not have the Supreme Personality of God on their side, he always acts as a well wisher by depriving them of their positions of false prestige. By false prestige, one is misguided, so the Supreme Lord takes away their position of false prestige as a special favor. So that's what Bali Maharaj is saying. Actually, you are more, even in the battle of Kurukshetra, they were saying that because Krishna was facing the Kaurav army, Kauravas were better situated than the Pandavas. They were at the back side of Krishna. So everybody in the Mahabharata Yudh got Sarupya Mukti because they were looking at Krishna. See how that is also indicating Krishna's mercy. He's killing the demons, but favoring them by killing them, by giving them higher destination. So that is the whole Canto 7 begins with this question of Krishna being impartial. Narad Muni is saying that anybody who thinks of Krishna, whether it's Kansa thinking in anger or Shishupal in envy, they also get benefited. Even they are becoming angry at Krishna. Anything you do about Krishna, uh, in hatred you think of Krishna, lust you think of Krishna, you get benefited. Because Krishna is, what do you say? What word will we say? Is all auspicious.
Yes. And demons need more. Sometimes you say like demons, they're more
Yeah,
needy. So
yeah, they're more needy, right? So Krishna has special attention on them. Whatever he does in their life is for their purification. Everything Krishna does in anybody's life is for purification, so that that person, that jiva, comes back to him as soon as possible. Because the only thing that the Lord does is love the jivas. We are his children. Parents would never hate the child. So in our life also, when suffering comes, we should understand, yes, it's Krishna's mercy. He loves me so much. So whatever he's doing in my life is to purify me.
okay. So it's 8 o'clock. Stop there.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. And Hare Krishna Mataji, first I wanted to ask you a question, Radhika Mataji. Yesterday I couldn't ask that. You told beautiful about the mindset of Rukmi and Rukmini, and it was nice. So actually I don't know like the actual importance of Rukmani Dwadashi. So is it like on that day Krishna married to Rukmani ji? That's why it's a Rukmani Dwadashi, or like what is the
Day
importance?
of Rukmani Devi.
What is this? The birthday of Rukmani Devi?
Birthday, yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
But many devotees, they recite this pastime. That is a Bhagavatam main pastime of Rukmini Devi, is this Krishna kidnapping Rukmini. So that's what they recite on that day. But it's appearance day of Rukmini Devi. And yeah, surprisingly, there is no other appearance days of other wives. Rukmini was the prime wife of Krishna. So that is there on our calendar.
Oh, okay, okay, got it. Yeah. No, it was very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Um, yeah, and today I have a little prayer to share. If um, can I post it here? One second, let me post the link. Prabhuji, can you share? I shared.
Sorry, I was just, yeah.
Okay. So this is a very simple prayer. Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Maner Anande by Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Janame Janame Sukhe Bol Hari Bol. मानव जन्म पे भाई बोल हरि बोल सुखे थाको दुखे थाको बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल संपदे विपदे भाई बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गृह थाको वने थाको बोल हरि बोल कृष्ण रे संसारे थाकी बोल हरि बोल. Is there further, Prabhuji? Can you scroll? Or that's it, like 3? Prabhuji, can you scroll? I don't know whether you are... Okay. बोल हरि बोल असत संगे छाड़ी भाई बोल हरि बोल वैष्णव चरणे पोड़ी बोल हरि बोल गौर नित्यानंद बोलो गौर गदाधर बोलो गौराद्वैत बोलो बोल हरि बोल. So the translation: chant the name of Hari. O brothers, with blissful minds, chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, birth after birth in happiness, chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, O brothers, you have obtained a human birth, now chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, whether you are in happiness or distress, chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, O brothers, whether in prosperity or misfortune, chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, whether you live at home or in the forest, chant the name of Hari. Remaining in this material world for Krishna's purposes, chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, O brothers, give up the association of non-devotees and chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, falling at the feet of the Vaishnavas, chant the name of Hari. Chant the name of Hari, chant the names of Gaura and Nityananda. Chant the names of Gaura and Gadadhar. Chant the names of Gaura and Advait. So here this song Bol Hari Bol is a very simple but yet very powerful kirtan, right? Centered on the essence of especially the Gaudiya Vaishnava practice, the chanting the holy names. So chanting the holy names of the Lord with sincerity and with dependence. So here it's been repeatedly said to keep chanting the name of Hari. So it means in bhakti, repetition is not redundancy, it is absorption. The holy name is, as we have heard many times, the holy name is non different from Krishna. So by repeating it, one associates directly with him. And the holy name is the only essence of spiritual life, as taught by our scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And especially in this age of Kali, Nam Sankirtan is the most effective process. Also, we have heard many a times this Srimad Bhagavatam verse. I don't know the Sanskrit, but the translation is in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the verse number 12.3.51 from Srimad Bhagavatam. So when this song repeatedly says Bol Hari Bol, it is not just encouragement, it is the direct instruction for spiritual perfection. Bye. And this song is not meant to be mechanical. It is a call to the Krishna. It is often emphasizes, right, that chanting should be heartfelt, dependent, and it should be like a cry for shelter. So, yeah, don't waste this rare human life. Please chant, please remember Lord Krishna. So the key principle is reflected here, as we can see. Bhakti is simple but not cheap. Even a child can chant Hari, but to chant with attention and sincerity, it requires a great deal of purification. So chanting the holy name in congregation, that is in the association of devotees, becomes Sankirtan, which increases the spiritual potency in return. And it also further purifies not only the chanter, but everyone who hears. So this song is also like an invitation to chant together and uplift each other. So when devotees sing Bol Hari Bol, they are not just practicing, they are giving mercy. So encouraging others to chant is considered one of the highest forms of compassion. So yeah, we should always encourage others to chant, and it reconnects the soul with Krishna. It frees one from material suffering, and the whole essence of the song is can be summarized in one instruction, that chant sincerely and encourage others to chant. And that is the heart of Lord Chaitanya's movement also, and the essence of all the Vedic knowledge in this age is to chant the holy name of the Lord. Yeah, that is I wanted to share if anybody has comment.
The verse you are quoting is this. 12,351 you said.
She said
Yes.
Hare Nam, that verse she quoted. Correct?
No, Mataji, it was this one, 12.3.51, yeah.
But it sounded like Hare Nam, Hare, the way
Yeah,
you
it was. There's no other way.
other way.
It's in the purport, I think, the Hare Nam is quoted.
Yeah, but yeah, I just said the English that in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the
Yeah,
holy
that is
name.
Hare
Yeah,
Nam.
that is Hare Nam.
Oh, that is Hare Nam. Okay, okay.
Only
But yeah,
this
this is
also
also
you can
one
say
of the
only
Lord.
way
Yeah.
of
Okay.
one good quality about this. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody like to
I
share?
pasted my song.
This song was sung by Agni Dev Prabhuji, Lord Maharaj.
Oh, he
Oh,
passed
yeah.
away today.
He
That's
passed
in
away.
Pandava.
Yes. He sang this song very nicely.
Which
I mean,
song?
all the songs. Bol
Yeah,
Hari Bol. Yeah.
Bol Hari
He
Bol.
bol. Yeah, his voice is so good.
Yesterday only we said his name because of the tune of the song. So today it's mentioned on Dandavad that he passed away.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a short video.
Hmm. Short video.
3-minute video was recorded today. They're all chanting for him. Okay, Raj Maharaj is also.
My sound is not coming.
So many devotees are there. Although they cannot be physically present, but
Yes, breathing still.
yeah.
The Bhagavad Gita is moving up and down.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Okay. Everybody will have to depart. So, all right. So,
I have this song. Ye baro karo no karo. So today is also the disappearance of Jayananda Prabhu. And I would like to recite few pastimes from him, but I'll sing the song first. हे बारो करुणा करो वैष्णव गोसाई पतित पावन तुम बिने केहो नाई যাহারা নিকটে গেলে পাপ দূরে যায় এমনা দয়ালা প্রভু কে বা কোঠা পায়ে গঙ্গারা পরাশা হইলে পশ্চাতে পাবন দর্শনে পবিত্র করো হে তোমারা গুণ হরি স্থানে अपराधी तारे हरि नाम तुम स्थाने अपराधे नाही परित्राण तुम्हारा हृदय सदा गोविंद विश्राम गोविंद कहे ना मोरा वैष्णव पराण प्रति जन्मे कोरी आशा चरणे राधोली नरोत्तमे करो दया अपनार बोली हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Translation. O Vaishnav Goswami, please be merciful to me now. There is no one except you who can purify the fallen souls. Where does anyone find such a merciful personality by whose mere audience all sins go far away? After bathing in the waters of the sacred Ganges many times, one becomes purified. But just by the sight of you, the fallen souls are purified. This is your great power. The holy name delivers one who has committed an offense to Lord Hari. But if one commits an offense to you, there is no means of deliverance. Your heart is always the resting place of Lord Govinda. Lord Govinda say, the Vaishnavas are in my heart. I desire the dust of your holy feet in every birth I may take. Please consider Narottam yours and be kind upon him. So Narottam Das Thakur is seeking the association of pure Vaishnav Goswami, and he's saying, please be merciful to me and give me your association. I am a very fallen soul. And pure devotees, just by their mere presence, tirthi kurvanti tirthani, they are walking places of pilgrimage. By bathing in the Ganges, after many, many times, one may be purified, but just even slight lava matra sadhu sangha, 1/11th of a second, or just by glance of a Vaishnava. There is also a verse in Bhagavatam which says that, let's see, this verse is, where is that verse? It's in the 11th canto. Okay, no, 1086:52. It says that one can gradually become purified by seeing, touching, and worshipping temple deities, places of pilgrimage, and holy rivers, but one can attain the same result immediately simply by receiving the glance of exalted sages. 1086:52. Now you might say that, just getting a glance, actual transformation happens by hearing, but that is the power of a pure devotee. Just by, if you scroll down, yeah. See, one can attain the same result simply by receiving a glance. So that's what this Narottam Das Thakur is saying also. But just by the sight of you, or it can also mean by simply seeing the pure devotee, how he's behaving, he's acting, he's chanting the holy name with tears in his eyes, how enthusiastically he's performing service to Krishna. By seeing him doing that service, we may be affected, we may be purified. So, and then this holy name, yeah, can destroy all pap, all offenses, but Vaishnava Aprad, the holy name, cannot destroy. So, if we have committed a Vaishnava Aprad, the only way of deliverance is by seeking forgiveness at the feet of the Vaishnav. Although Vaishnav never takes an offense, that's why, in the Ambarish Maharaj, Durvasa Muni pastime, also Ambarish Maharaj never took an offense. But Krishna takes an offense if you offend a Vaishnav. But if you beg for forgiveness and the Vaishnav shows you mercy and all, so Krishna also will forgive you. And in the heart of the Vaishnav, there's always Krishna residing in the heart. So we say that Prabhupada left Vrindavan, but Vrindavan, he took Vrindavan in his heart. He brought to America. He had Vrindavan in his heart and he turned everything into Vrindavan. So the Vaishnavas are in my heart. Krishna says to this Durvasa Muni only in the Ambarish Maharaj section, Sadhavo Hridayam Mayam, Sadhunam Hridayam Tvaham. I am in the heart of the devotee and Vaishnavas are in my heart. And then I desire the dust of the holy feet of the Vaishnavas. Bhakta Pada Dhuli or Bhakta Pada Jal, Bhakta Bhukta Vishesh Teen Mahabal. The dust from the lotus feet of devotees, the water that has washed the lotus feet of devotees, and the remnants of devotees, pure devotees. These are three very powerful things. And dust from your holy feet also means walking the path that they have taken, following their instructions. And so this Jayananda Prabhu is an ideal example of such a pure devotee, and he is the only devotee whose disappearance day is on our Gaudiya calendar. And when Jayananda Prabhu passed away, we can read this one letter from Prabhupada. If you can open this. So Prabhupada is writing, because Jayananda Prabhu passed away before Prabhupada's disappearance. He had cancer, I think blood leukemia cancer. He was diagnosed, and he's from this Ohio only. He went to this Ohio State University. He was an engineer by profession, but he took the position of, once he met Prabhupada, he took the job of a taxi driver, so that it's very flexible job. Whenever he wants to work, he works. Whenever he wants to do service, direct service in the temple. He was a temple president also. So he took that taxi driver job, and whatever he would earn, he will give it to Prabhupada. So to Jayananda Das, February 26, 1977. So today is his Tithi, not the same date, but Tithi of his disappearance. This body is today or tomorrow finished. We should not be very much bothered about the body. Trees also live for thousands of years, but that does not mean a successful life. A successful life is one of Krishna consciousness. By the grace of Krishna, from the very beginning, you are a devotee, and that is a real profit of your life. About a sadhu, it is said, Jivo va marova. A sadhu may live or die, it does not matter. By living, he is engaged in Krishna consciousness business, and when dying, he goes back home, back to Godhead. And then I'm feeling very intensely your separation. In 1967, you joined me in San Francisco. You were driving my car and chanting Hare Krishna. You were the first man to give me some contribution. That was $5,000 for printing my Bhagavad Gita. After that, you have rendered very favorable service to Krishna in different ways. I so hope at the time of your death, you were remembering Krishna, and as such, you have been promoted to the eternal association of Krishna. If not, if you had any tinge of material desire, you have gone to the celestial kingdom to live with the demigods for many thousands of years and enjoy the most opulent life of material existence. From there, you can promote yourself to the spiritual world. But even if one fails to promote himself to the spiritual world, at that time he comes down again on the surface of the globe and takes birth in a big family like of yogis or a brahmanas or aristocratic family, where there is again chance of reviving Krishna consciousness. But as you were hearing Krishna Kirtan, I'm sure that you were directly promoted to Krishna Lok. Janma karma dacha me divyam evam yoveti tatvata tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti swarjana. Krishna has done a great favor to you not to continue your diseased body, and has given you a suitable place for your service. Thank you very much. And to another devotee, Prabhupada writes, Jayananda's death is glorious. It is very good that he had stated, what is the use of such a useless body? Better to give it up. He has left his body very wonderfully, and he has been transferred to Vaikuntha. I have already sent a condolence letter for publication. Everyone should follow the example of Jayananda. I'm very proud that I had such a nice disciple. If possible, Jayananda's picture should be hung in the Rath of Lord Jagannath, and in all of your temples a day may be set aside for holding a festival in his honor, just as we do on the disappearance day of the great Vaishnavas. Goswami. So Prabhupada put him in the same category as other great Vaishnavas who have departed, that we should hold a festival in his remembrance. So, I mean, there are many pastimes of Jayananda Prabhu, and just quickly, one of his humility, if you can open this article, we can read about Jayananda's humility. One thing that I had heard about him in the lecture was that he would not spend any money on himself. All the money that he would get from his job, he would give it to Prabhupada. So his jeans were torn. His clothes he would get from dollar stores, the cheapest clothes, and his clothes were torn. So some temple president of some temple, he once gave him some money. Okay, take this $20 and get yourself a pair of blue jeans, new jeans, get yourself. So but Jayananda, he was too humble to spend even those $20 on his clothes. So he went to this shop. He went to this shop and he was seeing these jeans. I don't know exactly, but what he did was he kept the $20 to himself, and he stole those jeans from the shop, and he got caught by from shoplifting. He got caught by the police. So in the court, when he was asked, why did you steal, and he was like, I didn't want to spend this $20 on myself. I mean, this is Prabhupada's money. This is for Krishna's, for preaching purpose. That I didn't want to spend money, but everybody was forcing me to buy, and my jeans were torn. So some devotee was speaking this pastime. So we can see that uh, he wants nothing for himself. So if you scroll up, or there is a humility section, Jananda's.
Then the policeman or said, I will pay for his
Oh
bill.
yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah. The policeman, the one who caught him, and after hearing him in the court, he says, release him. I will pay for him. Yeah, exactly. So, can you search for humility here? Is this Control F? Yeah. So, humility was certainly Jananda's most prominent quality. He treated everyone as his superior, even new devotees. Maharaj Das remembers that Jananda was always asking his advice. Hey Bhakta Mike, what do you think of this? Although his service was glorious, he never wanted any glory. He avoided praise like a plague. Devotees got to know that if they wanted to be around him, they'd better not praise Jayananda. Otherwise, he would simply leave. Once, when he was with Danveer, someone came to Jayananda and began praising him. Jayananda just ignored it. Later, he turned to Danveer and said, if you have been around this moment a few years, people naturally offer you some respect. Not that his service or qualities were so great, he just was around a few years, was his humble thinking. So he would always say, just it's only few years, and after few years, everybody starts offering respect. It's nothing, no big deal. If if he ever spoke about himself at all, Jananda would speak so humbly that Lochan Das recalls, it was difficult not to think of yourself as being better than him. If you had any reason to be puffed up, Jananda would bring it out in you. So he would speak in such a way that everybody would think, yeah, I am great and he's small. Feeling himself unworthy, he would step aside so that others would lead kirtan, give classes, or do arti. Instead, he could be found fixing cars, unplugging toilets, washing dishes, and taking out trash. Once a new boy came to visit San Francisco temple. He wanted to help, so Keshav Das sent him to trash area where Jananda was preparing the weekly trash run. Jananda told the boy, I am the garbage man around here. For years I have been watching garbage men carry out trash, and now Krishna is giving me a chance to do this for him. This Jayananda says, oh, I'm so grateful to Krishna. He's giving me the service of picking up the garbage. for him. The boy not only helped load the trash but accompanied Jananda to the garbage dump. Later, the boy became a devotee and he recalled thinking, if the garbage man at this temple can be so blissful, just imagine what the rest of the devotees are like. So, this was a new person who was visiting the temple and seeing how enthusiastically Jayananda Prabhu was picking up garbage and being grateful to Krishna, joyfully doing his service. He was saying, if the garbage man is so blissful, what about other devotees in the temple? And so this boy became a devotee. We also know Jayapataka Maharaj, how he became a devotee, just moments association with Jayananda Prabhu while building the cart, Rath Yatra cart. Karandar recalls another instance of Jayananda's humility. One day before Rath Yatra, I spent the whole day running around with Jayananda. By the time we got back to the temple, it was midnight. The whole building was so crowded that we couldn't find any space to lie down. Finally, we found a room in one little storage closet. I was so tired that what I could do was just throw my sleeping bag on the floor and lie down. Then I saw Jananda walking out of the room. I asked him, "Where are you going?" He said he'd be back right back. But I kept pressing him, and finally he explained that he had some rounds of japa chanting to finish up. He didn't want to keep me awake by chanting in our room, nor did he want me to feel bad because he was going out to do something else. He just wanted to slip away to some corner and fulfill his vow. I remember saying, sometimes it's not possible to finish all of one's round because there is so much work to do. That's okay. I'm not too tired, Jananda replied. I was amazed not only by his consideration for me, but by his full submission to Srila Prabhupada. So he wouldn't let anybody else feel bad. Okay, it's okay, you're tired, it's okay, sometimes it's not possible, but then he's saying, I'm not too tired, so I'm going to finish my rounds. Although perfectly qualified, Jananda was reluctant to take a post as temple president or sannyasi. It was not that he wouldn't or couldn't do it. He would do whatever was asked of him. He was happiest just to be working under someone. Das Anudas. In this way, he was the backbone of the Bay Area's ISKCON temple for years. Through frequently changing the administration, he would always faithfully serve the acting temple president. He was very special, and yet no one paid any special attention to him. That was just the way he liked things. No attention to myself, just being on the background and serving. And somebody asked Jayananda Prabhu, how did you become so advanced? And Jayananda Prabhu says, I'm too busy to think about it. Sorry, I don't know how. I'm not advanced, and I don't know how I became advanced. I'm too busy right now to think about it. So, uh, I mean, this whole article is so nice, but just reading about this pure Vaishnav can, we are associating with him through his pastimes. So we can become like him. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you for sharing. And I think there's a song Preeti wants to sing. Okay.
Okay. So this is just a glorification about the Braj Dham. I like this song. Okay. Jai Radhe Jayo Krishna Jayo Vrindavana Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohana Jaya Radhe Jayo Krishna Jayo Vrindavana Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Kalindi Jamuna Jayo Jayo Mahavam Keshi Ghat Vamsi Vata Dwadasa Kanana Jahan Sab Leela Koilo Shri Nanda Nandana Shri Nanda Jashoda Jaya Jaya Gopagana Shri Damadi Jaya Jaya Dhenu Vatsagana Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Purnamashi Jaya Abhira Nagari Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavan Maja Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Batu Dvijaraja Jaya Ram Ghat Jaya Rohini Nandana Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Vasi Jat Jana Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanya Gana Bhakti Teja Hara Pailo Govinda Charana Shri Rasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manoram Jaya Jaya Ujjvala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sar Parakiya Bhave Jahan Brajate Prachar Shri Janma Pada Padma Koriya Smaran Dina Krishna Dasa Kohe Nama Sankirtan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Translation. All glories to Radha and Krishna and the divine forest of Vrindavan. All glories to the three presiding deities of Vrindavan, Sri Govind, Gopinath and Madan Mohan. All glories to Shyam Kund, Radha Kund, Govardhan Hill and Yamuna River. All glories to great forest known as Mahavan, where Krishna and Balram displayed all of their childhood pastime. All glories to Keshi Ghat, where Krishna killed the Keshi demon. All glories to Vamshi tree, where Krishna attracted all the gopis to come by playing his flute. All glories to all of the 12 forests of Braj. At these places, the son of Nanda, Sri Krishna, performed all of his pastimes. All glories to Krishna's divine father, mother, Nanda and Yashoda. All glories to cowherd boys headed by Sridham, the older brother of Srimati Radharani and Ananga Manjari. All glories to the cows and calves of Braj. All glories to Radha's divine father and mother, Vrishabhanu and the beautiful Kirtida. All glories to Purnamashi, the mother of Sandipani Muni, grandmother of Madhumangal and Nandi Mukhi, and beloved disciple of Devarshi Narad. All glories to the young cowherd maiden of Braj. All glories to Gopishwar Shiva, who resides in Vrindavan in order to protect the holy dham. All glories to Krishna's funny Balram Brahman friend, Madhu Mangal. All glories to Ram Ghat, where Lord Balram performed his Ras dance. All glories to Lord Balram, the son of Rohini. All glories to all of the residents of Vrindavan. All glories to the wives of the proud Vedic Brahmanas. All glories to the wives of Kaliya serpent. Though pure devotion, they all obtained the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. All glories to place where the rasa dance of Krishna was performed. All glories to Radha and Shyam. All glories to divine rasa dance, which is the most beautiful of all Lord Krishna's pastime. All glories to the mellow of conjugal love, which is the most excellent of all rasas and is propagated in Vraj by Sri Krishna in the form of divine Parakya Bhav. Remembering the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda's consort Sri Janma Devi, this very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna sing the Sankirtan of the holy name. So these are the places and the residents, like the Brajvasis, where Krishna performed his pastimes, various pastimes. So we're just remembering all those places and their fortune, that they're all glories to them because they are pure devotees and, that are participating in the Krishna's pastime. So overall, in brief, this is the meaning of this song. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Nicely sung. Reminds of all the holy places in Vrindavan. Radha Kund, Shyam Kund. Okay. And all the devotees of Krishna. So, anybody else like to say anything about the song or anything else? Kyle is there on the call. Like to say anything, Kyle? Say.
Good morning. I'm just listening this morning. I'm at work.
Okay, nice. Anything else? Anybody want to say Charuta, Om, Gupta, Tina, Shivani, Manish Goyal? Madhav Kanta Prabhu is also there. He usually has something to say. Umakant Prabhu. Okay, then we can stop here. Nobody has any comments?
You can read more about Jayananda. You can open that article and read.
You want to read?
No, you can read.
Okay. Somebody would like to read? I can pull up.
You can take turns.
Okay.
I can read a paragraph.
Okay. I think I already pulled up here. Okay, so we can read from here, from the beginning, right? The whole article you want to read?
Yeah,
Or
this is Kalakanta Prabhu who has written this article.
is there any section you would like to read or you want to read from the beginning?
I think she read some.
Jayananda humility we read, right?
Yeah, this section.
Service attitude, maybe.
Okay, we can read service.
Jayananda was always ready to do whatever was necessary to push on Krishna consciousness. He was expert at everything: cooking, preaching, deity worship, public relations, sankirtan, selling incense, construction, and everything else it takes to run a temple. He was a tireless worker. He would be the first one up in the morning, the last one to sleep at night. It was Jayananda who was always running out to get the flowers. Jayananda who was washing dishes and making sure the kitchen was clean. Jayananda who was often missing class while he was out doing some service. And Jayananda who was always encouraging others to go out and preach and setting the example himself. Whatever assignment he was given, he would always get done. And even if he had to suffer personally for it, no matter how hard he was working, he would never stop for a nap during a day. He seemed to be inexhaustible. Jamwan Prabhu remembers that many times the San Francisco devotees would go out to Berkeley to distribute the leftover prasad after Sunday feast. First, Jananda would be in the kitchen cleaning. Then someone would say, "How about this leftover prasadam?" Jananda would say, "Okay, first let's get this kitchen clean." He would organize the cleanup crew and then work twice as hard as anybody. Then he would transfer the prasad, load it and load it and the devotees into the van, drive the van to the Berkeley, organize the distribution of prasad, and lead the kirtan while we distributed. In later years, when he was with Radha Damodar traveling Sankirtan party, Jayananda would help manage and sustain the traveling bus program and simultaneously do all day Sankirtan day in and day out. Side by side with brahmacharis scarcely half his age. In spite of his advanced position and seniority, he never asked for any special treatment. Leading devotees would often describe him as the most advanced devotee in the movement. Yeah, very nicely, Prabhuji Maharaj has written here, serving by example. That was the thought that came, but it went away.
Like somebody would say, oh, I see this devotee everywhere. Like I go in the kitchen, he's serving in the kitchen. I go there and he's preaching, he's doing book distribution. So it's just the enthusiasm of serving is he's everywhere, doing everything. How is it possible? Just Prabhupada's mercy, I would say.
Yeah, purity brings empowerment, and yeah, those who have that, they can do anything that's impossible.
Mm.
Okay. Next.
I can read. Jananda's freedom from fault finding. Those who knew Jananda always noticed one remarkable quality about him. He could not criticize others. It was against his nature. Even if a devotee did something which warranted criticism, Jananda would usually say nothing, or else something that made the mistake appear to be perfectly understandable. No matter who was giving class or leading kirtan, he would always appreciate it. He never spoke harsh words or chastised anybody. If one devotee was criticizing another, within earshot of Jayananda, Jayananda would simply leave. Rather than criticize others, Jayananda would contribute nothing less than positive Krishna conscious energy to any situation. Sometimes devotees would bring up their expansive aspirations for spreading Krishna consciousness. Jananda would always encourage their ideas, however extraordinary. At the same time, he was not a fool. He could always pick the right man to do a particular duty. Because he knew how to encourage people, the temple leaders would always assign new men to work with Jayananda. He saw no distinction between new devotee and old devotee. Both were his superiors. He could quickly give a new man a sense of identity and a feeling that he belonged in Krishna consciousness. A true Vaishnav, he was expert at fanning any little spark of Krishna consciousness into a big fire. Few will dispute the claim that Jananda made more devotees and helped more pull through than anyone else in the movement. Yeah. Freedom from fault finding, that's a quality of a Vaishnav. What is it? वैश्य मेरा गुणाग्राही ना दिखाए दोष का या मन वाक्य करे वैष्णव संतोष. So he would not see any faults in others. He would see only the good qualities, appreciate them, and fan the spark for even new people that joined him. He would be, engaging them very nicely and encourage everybody, inspire everybody, appreciate everybody. Such a nice quality. Wish I had this quality.
Yeah, me too. I think this is a key to being a step towards being a pure devotee as well. So fault finding, it just brings you down. If you uh, don't stop it, then there is no elevation in Krishna consciousness.
Correct.
So, Mataji,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Can you send this link of the Prabhu Jayananda? This is too good. This is very, very, inspiring.
There is also YouTube lectures of devotees that I have seen. If you search on, I'll give you on WhatsApp, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you.
Nice lectures on him. He's an ideal devotee, how we should be.
And he was in Ohio, right?
He went to Ohio State University. Yeah, Prabhuji, do you know if he met Prabhupada in Ohio or?
He met, I think, California or somewhere.
Yeah, San Francisco. So he is the first person who helped Prabhupada build the Rath Yatra cart. So, the Rath Yatra that happens. First Rath Yatra happened, and was it in California? So
Yeah.
he built the cart from scratch, and that's
Yes.
why whenever there is Rath Yatra, his picture is there on the cart.
That's right.
Prabhupada's.
It looks like he has all the qualities of good devotees as described in, I think, 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Right. So living example. Yes,
Hare Krishna.
I will send you the article. Okay, Prabhuji, would like to read further, or
Let's see if anybody else wants to read.
oh, we can't see your screen.
1 minute, where did it go? Yeah.
Om Gupta Prabhu, would you like to read? If you can
Yeah,
zoom
I
in a
can.
little bit, Prabhu. It's very small font. Just zoom in a little bit.
Okay.
This is, which one is that?
Dear to
Dear,
everyone.
yeah, dear to everyone. One second. Okay. Like the six Goswamis, Jayananda was dear both to the gentle and the ruffians. He was as much at home with the Italians at the produce market as with the brahmacharis in the temple. He would make friends on street.
Sankirtan.
No,
Make friends on street, Sankirtan.
no, I changed the slide actually. Sankirtan, they would often come up to him and say, "Hey, where have you been?" Once a devotee was approached by a staggering drunk in San Francisco. The drunk looked at his robes and asked the devotees, "Hey, where is my old friend Jayananda?" Many devotees, including Danavir and Chandan Acharya, had the experience of taking over Jayananda's old territory on incense selling runs, on bhoga runs. They would meet people who said such things as, "Where is Johnny Ananda?" or "That man. He's the nicest and most pure man I have ever met." One man told Chandan Acharya, "Well, I don't know much about your philosophy, but if that Jayananda is into it, it must be all right." Once near the Rath Yatra cart worksite, Jayananda invited Keshwa to step inside a bar and meet some friends of his. They walked inside and immediately some 25 faces looked up and smiled brightly. Someone said, "Oh, this must be your friend you were telling us about, the temple president." They presented the two devotees sack full of vegetarian groceries which they had chipped in together to buy. Among the devotees, Jayananda was like a big brother, always compassionate and willing to listen to others, to them. Uh, but devotees rarely burdened him with their problems. When you were around Jayananda, said Karnadhara, you had no problems. The devotees loved Jayananda and talked about him during long drives on traveling Sankirtan. He was dear to them because he had a sense of humor. Too, Jambavan recalls being awakened one night at midnight by Jayananda. "Wake up," said Jayananda. "I've got a benediction for you." He then pushed a big samosa into the sleepy Jamba's mouth. Like Maharaja Yudhishthira, Jayananda's enemy was never born. Expert at engaging everyone. Should I go? Jayananda was very eager to see everyone engaged in Krishna's service. He once wrote, "When I reflect on my consciousness, had I not had association with devotees and Sri Prabhupada, I shudder to imagine the nightmare I would be in. If we could become a little dedicated to disturbing the mercy, so many could be saved so much sufferings."
Distributing the mercy.
Yep. Because of his genuine compassion, Krishna gave Jayananda the unique ability to make people want to serve Krishna directly or indirectly. Whenever a new bhakta would come, Jayananda made him feel that he was engaged in important work. He was older, bigger, and stronger than just about anyone in the temple, and everyone was glad to be working under him. He was willing to let people do things their own way without getting finicky about details. Unless somebody's creativity interfered with the practical necessity, new bhakta or old, everyone felt satisfied after a day's work with Jayananda. This was especially evident during Rath Yatra time. Jayananda would organize a crew of cynics, bloopers, uncooperative personalities, and non-devotees of the street to build the Rath carts. Although many of his sat down for a smoke during breaks, he would get them to work 10, 12, or 14 hours a day. He was always glorifying others and working hard himself. In fact, he worked harder than anybody else. All those qualities made him very inspiring to work with. Moreover, there was something very personal about Jayananda that made everyone want to help him. Once he and Maharaj Das were struggling to load a heavy refrigerator on a truck. Two drunks were walking up the alley, and Jayananda said, I am going to give them a chance to do some devotional service. His enthusiasm for devotional service was usually contagious, and this was no exception. Those drunks were right in there helping, and the job was done in no time. Afterwards, as usual, Jayananda said to the drunks, Now say Hare, now say Krishna, now say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jai Hari Bol. Thank you, fellas. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Jayananda was well known as a transcendental miser. He hated to spend any of Shri Prabhupada's money. Personally, he had almost no possessions. Even during his years as a householder, when he was on the road selling incense, he would sleep in the car or in a bench, or sometimes with friends he would make in various cities. He had make in various cities. Many of these friends, such as Maharaj Das and Jivadas, later become devotees as a result of Jayananda's preaching. Jayananda would use his personal charm with people to get them to give everything free or at a discount for Krishna. Without spending huge sums of money, he would personally collect nearly all of the bhogas, flowers, lumber, paint, and everything else needed to put on Rath Yatra each year. One year, there were hundreds of devotees at the temple to feed just before the festival. Jayananda went to see one of his famous friends at the produce market, Banana King Louis. He came back with 4 free truckloads of banana and first-class pineapples, coupled with some donated milk products. The devotees ate banana, pineapples, and cream as much as anyone could eat, all for free. Jayananda would get almost anything done for free, such as printing, advertising, and mimeographing for Rath Yatra publicity. What he couldn't get for free, he would get at a discount, and when he paid, he would get this money worth. For example, after the festival would end, he would rent a big truck with which to haul all the equipment back to the temple. Although the devotees would be exhausted after weeks of hard work, he would that everyone come out and help pack things away, lest he have keep the truck another day and pay 50 cents, pay another 50 cents. Although he was a senior devotee and could have had anything he wanted, he always dressed in old dhotis and work clothes, which he would buy for $1 per set at the Salvation Army thrift store. Jayananda was backbone of the Bay Area Rath Yatra for years, and his experiences at each one are summarized in the 1977 Rath Yatra edition of Back to Godhead magazine. Behind the scene, Jayananda was doing everything in preparation for each festival. He would beg food, flowers, and funds, buy materials, and build the carts, advertise, arrange for permits, and organize the cooking and serving of prasad. Although things always went right down to the wire, he would consistently succeed in fulfilling all his plans every year. After the festival, Jayananda personally brought a prasadam cake or pie to each and every person who had helped in some way or another. Because of his efforts, the devotees in the Bay Area enjoy to this day an amazingly harmonious relationship with the city officials. During the weeks before the festival, Jayananda would sleep at the site where the Rath carts were under construction. He would rise every day at 4 a.m. without fail, even if that meant he was getting only 3 hours sleep or less. To keep his crew enlivened, He would cook fantastic prasadam on a tiny gas stove at the site. The preparations were always carefully offered, and each was filled with so much bhakti that the temple devotees would sometimes sneak down to the cart site just to get some. Jayananda regarded his final Rath Yatra, the 1976 festival in New York, to be his most successful. Here is how he described the event in a letter to Keshava Das. Somehow he got the good fortune to work on the New York Rath Yatra. It was such an auspicious opportunity. Prabhupada was coming. There was finally a first-class center in Manhattan, and somehow Tushan got on okay to use Fifth Avenue for the parade route. Jambavan was here, and he had a couple of other boys who worked very hard. I was praying that somehow we could just get the carts finished. Somehow, by Krishna's grace, it worked out. You wouldn't have believed some of the events. The night before the festival, Saturday at about 5 or 6 p.m., we were raising Balaram's dome, and it was at the top when a huge gust of wind caught it and blew the whole thing over. The framework was all busted, the tubing twisted, etc. I didn't see how we could rectify the situation as there was so much to do on the other two carts. But two devotees who were expert builders vowed they would somehow get it back together. I had some extra pipes, etc., and they worked all night. And by Krishna's grace, all three chariots were at the Fifth Avenue and 59th Street by 6:30 a.m. Sunday morning. There is no place like New York for Rath Yatra. The parade was tremendous, as was the scene in the park. Even when we pulled the carts back to the construction site, people would come out of their apartments and bars and chant Hare Krishna. I guess that occasion was the perfection of my career in Krishna consciousness. How beautiful that would be. Huh? Okay. Jayananda said of Srila Prabhupada, I knew he did not want to cheat me, so I wanted to work for him. In his dealings with Srila Prabhupada, Jayananda kept his usual low profile. He was generally off working on some project when Srila Prabhupada came to San Francisco. Their relationship was therefore, as Karnadhara describes it, one of old friends, or very economical. This is to say, Jayananda did not go in for long meetings with Sri Prabhupada, even when all the other temple leaders were doing so. By way of reciprocation, Sri Prabhupada would invariably call for Jayananda when he arrived in the temple. Sometimes he would have to make repeated requests, and when Jayananda was finally located, he would resist, saying, No, I cannot go to see him. I am too dirty, I am too fallen. He would work after festivals and let others see Sri Prabhupada. Thus, Jayananda's relationship with Prabhupada was always one of service. Service to Prabhupada was the core of Jayananda's life. Once Danvir asked him, How does one make spiritual advancement in Krishna consciousness? Jayananda answered, I don't know. I am too busy working to think about it. Sri Prabhupada always appreciated Jayananda's sincere service. He wrote in Jayananda's in December 1975, I was very happy to get your recent letter. I am always thinking of you and praying to Krishna for your advancement in Krishna consciousness. Yes, I remember the old days in San Francisco. Krishna has been so kind upon me to have sent to so many sincere disciples to help me push on this movement on behalf of my Guru Maharaj. You continue with your program there in San Francisco, always strictly keeping our principles, and Krishna will bless you with greater and greater realization of the importance of the movement. I am dependent upon you, my older disciples, to carry on it. I hope this meets you as well. Which Jayananda's final meeting with Sri Prabhupada took place in New York City at the 1976 Rath Yatra. When Prabhupada arrived at the airport, Jayananda drove the car to pick him up. Prabhupada was sitting in the back seat and he asked, Who is driving? The devotee said, This is Jayananda. Oh, I know Jayananda, said Prabhupada. He gave me $5,000 to print my Bhagavad Gita. Jayananda was not only big and powerful in body, he was strong with faith in Krishna, therefore nothing could frighten him. Once on San Francisco Market Street, Jayananda was playing mridanga and leading a kirtan party when down the street an enormous man appeared. He was at least 7 feet tall and weighed perhaps 300 pounds. His unkempt beard and drunken appearance indicated that he was an old veteran living in the bars of his pension. As he approached the kirtan party, the temple's reserve Kshatriyas, Keshava Das and Guru Kripa Das readied themselves for a fight. Sure enough, the monster marched up to Jayananda, turned and began to shout, "Stop this chanting!" Jayananda looked him straight in the eye and said firmly, "Just chant Hare Krishna, just chant Hare Krishna." To everyone's amazement, the drunk simply turned and walked away without a scrap. The ultimate expression of Jayananda's fearlessness came at the end of his life when he was diagnosed with a leukemia and cancer of the lymph glands. He wrote from the hospital, "I was out of the hospital for a month going to the clinic, and now I am back for a couple of weeks of intensive treatment. Actually, the whole thing was a real blessing as it made me realize that death is right at hand. Somehow I need these potent reminders to help me advance in Krishna consciousness. For the time I was in the temple, I was appreciating Krishna consciousness so much more than ever before. So it's been a real blessing." Even in his last few months in LA temple, Jayananda never succumbed to fear or self-pity. When his old friends would come to his room and see his withered form and ghostly appearance, they would find it hard to talk their way around his condition. What Jayananda communicated, on the other hand, was complete disinterest in the whole subject of his health. Instead, he was scheming how to put on Rath Yatra in Los Angeles. Sitting on the lawn in his wheelchair, looking like death personified, Jayananda could not stop thinking and talking about Rath Yatra. Karnadhara remembers looking at him from his desk. Jayananda was there, the epitome of Krishna consciousness and fearlessness of death. Karnadhara thought it odd that he did not feel any great pity or remorse for Jayananda. Then he could understand that if Jayananda was so Krishna consciousness, how could anyone look at him and not also be Krishna consciousness? Jayananda pushed on the Los Angeles Rath Yatra until he was so weak that he could no longer pick up the phone and call old friends to ask for donation. Factually, he collected a large amount of Lakshmi and devised the various means by which the festival could take place. The festival managers will readily admit that without Jayananda's presence, the first Rath Yatra festival in LA would not have taken place in 1977. Thus, he proved that by engaging in devotional service, one transcends even the fear of death. That Jayananda passed away while Srila Prabhupada was still on the planet is not insignificant. In this way, Srila Prabhupada was able to confirm to all of us that everyone should follow the example of Jayananda. Certainly, those who knew Jayananda should take it upon themselves to preach about his qualities of humanity, eagerness to serve, equanimity, and devotion of Krishna and Prabhupada. We offer our humble obeisance to all such devotees who understand these qualities and try to share them. We offer our humble obeisance unto His Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada and to Sri Srimad Jayananda Prabhu, the exemplary teacher of devotional service in Krishna consciousness. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu, for reading all the long.
Hare Krishna. But that was so good.
Okay, it's 9 o'clock, so we may want to stop here today. 9:10.
You want to say something about Jayananda Prabhu? I didn't hear from you.
Huh?
You want to say something of what we read?
Yeah, I like that he was so always in the background, and he always wanted to give others the chance to do the service, leading services, and he was doing menial services like washing, cleaning, and he also, I like that he treated everybody with respect. Even if a new person came, he would treat him as like very important and made him feel very important. So everybody loved him. So like the Sukh Goswamis, they were what is that? They were dear to both the gentle and the ruffian. So even those other people who were not exactly like taking up the process of Krishna consciousness, they also like Jayananda. His nature was such loving nature. He had love for everyone. So irrespective of their background or their condition. So like a pure devotee. So those things are very nice. And even like he was not worried about his appearance. When he had cancer, devotees used to come to visit him, and he would talk about Rath Yatra, how to organize Rath Yatra, and like that. So he was always thinking about service. And he saw his condition as a blessing. He's saying that Krishna has given me this to make me more serious about Krishna consciousness. Okay, so like that. There's so many things you can say about Jayananda Prabhu's. And he passed away before Srila Prabhupada, although he was younger to Srila Prabhupada. And in this way, Krishna ensured that Prabhupada, because the whole movement was running under Prabhupada's direction. So the reason he passed away is Prabhupada would appreciate him, and then, that's how his appearance day is on the calendar, Gaudiya calendar. So, and everywhere Rath Yatra is held, his picture is put. So Prabhupada, Krishna made sure that Jayananda Prabhu is glorified by taking him away before Srila Prabhupada's departure. Okay, so these are some qualities. He would run away when somebody would criticize the devotees. He would not hear. And he was always giving appreciation. Yeah, these are some of the very nice qualities. We can hope to imbibe. Okay. Is that good enough? Or we can say more also, but
Thank you.
in the interest of time, we cannot say that now. 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we can say more. Okay. Thank you all for giving your association this morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.